If I can't crawl inside of you, I'm laughing with a broken face. I stumble across my self-esteem, but to picture pleasure is making me fall my space. Understand that God wrapped you like a bow. But in my head, there's some shelves that need cleaning, from basement to ceiling. Control. If what you're seeing is an open book, that's great, 'cause I'm an open book, but I'm real shy. Now there's a part of me seeking and desperately needing to open up. Now that's so strange, 'cause I'm this open book, confused, boring. And I'm an automatic steeple for depressed and lonely people. My heart, while in its cage, is used to give and not receive a thing. But the only funny thing, I don't know how to give myself advice. And I've got this real dramatic thing, this tattoo of a ring around my wedding finger. That's where I want to stake this claim that I've got to learn to live and dream before I go and get myself love. Beautiful love. Before I go and get myself in love. Ooh, love. Before I go and get myself in love. Well, there's Zoloft, Wellbutrin, there's Paxil, that's proven no side effects. But the rest left unnamed, 'cause they'd work like a charm on me. But when your savings is drying, you can't stop from crying. Boy, you better suck that shit up. You're not her buttercup. Listen very closely. You're no longer her favorite book. And I'm an automatic steeple for depressed and lonely people. My heart, while in its cage, is is used to give and not receive a thing. But the only funny thing, yeah, I don't know how to give myself advice. And I've got this real dramatic thing, this fucking tattoo of a ring around my wedding finger. And that's where I want to stake this claim that I've got to learn to live and dream before I go and get myself in love. God, I want love. Before I go and get myself in love. So I guess it all started when I was 16 years old. I was in high school, and I was in a band called The Last Wish. Oh, thank you. You liar. We were awful, man. I mean, we were horrible. We were in high school, right? I listened to a lot of UK bands back then, you know, like the Stone Roses and the Smiths and the Cure, and so everything that I sang back then kind of came out sounding like this. And then, who in here has the Blue October album, The Answers? Okay, 3 of you. No, that's good. Well, you know that song Tomorrow on it? Well, pop that bitch in on the way home, all right? And you'll hear exactly what I'm talking about. It says, tomorrow, I'm gonna find a way to die. It's so... I can't listen to it. But you think it's good? Like, okay, whatever. But no, like, I didn't know. I listened to the Smiths so much that, like, I thought I was from England, man. It was worse than Madonna, you know? But no, so you know, you're you're in a band in high school, you know, for all the right reasons, like, right, to change the world, right? No, to pick up chicks, you know? And I was the lead singer! So it was pretty cool, you know? So you can already tell that I had this, I'll just be honest with you, I had this ego that was so huge, because here I am, you know, I was in The Last Wish. Every Friday night, you're gonna come see me. You know, I'm gonna be singing to you. And I'll see you Monday morning, girl. You know, like, damn. Anyway, but okay, but it went back to Houston. It was one night in Houston. That's where it all started out. One night in Houston, Texas, where I'm from, we were playing this little gig called the Last Concert Cafe. And I'll always remember the Last Concert Cafe because I found out later on in life that it was an actual whorehouse. No, I'm serious, and I was wondering why when we loaded in, that you'd knock on the door and they'd ask, like, what's the password? The purple elephant walks at night, and they'd be like, come on back in, you know? But we would, I'm not lying to you. So we instantly had street cred as a band in high school playing hooker joints, you know? But our parents, you know, they still ran the band because we're in high school, and you don't do shit in high school without your parents knowing, you know. They drove the Suburban with all the gear in the back of it, loaded it into the whorehouse for you, you know. Friggin' sat back, watched your shows, you know. Well, this one night in particular, my parents weren't there, but everyone else's parents were there. And we rocked out the set, you know. It was killer. And then I looked at Greg after our set. Greg was the leader. And I said, hey, Greg, I've been working on this song. Do you mind if I go back on stage by myself and play this song since we're done? He goes, of course you would. Yeah, of course, typical. Egotistical son of a bitch. You know? Yeah, go ahead, bro. And I was asking him to be polite. I was going to do it anyway. But I remember I walked back on that stage. It was like slow motion. And I sat down, and I put that guitar in my lap. And I played, and I just showered my skills all over the audience, you know, and the audience was like, ah. Like all their parents were like that. It was really weird. My parents weren't there, but I remember after I finished this song, you see, the whole audience was like, their mouths were like, it's dead silence. So what do I think with my big ass ego back then? I'm thinking, I just fucked him up. Like, I changed their life. Lives were changed in this room. Thank you. And I walked off, right? Well, I go home that night, and I'm just on cloud 9 thinking, wow, man, I'm really good. I go to bed that night feeling like a rock star. And I wake up the next morning to my dad going, Justin, get up. I just got a call from Greg's dad. What'd you do last night, bro? Changed some lives, Dad. That's what I did. Wish you were there, guess you weren't. I missed out. No, he goes, well, that's great because they want to have a parents' meeting today. Well, that's awesome, I'm thinking. I'm like, well, that must mean that they're going to put all their money together because that song is so good. They're going to get us a record deal. They're going to be like, wow, our lives are going to change. And I was like, well, what time's the meeting? I got to get in the shower and get ready. So he told me, we all get ready, me and my crew, you know, all we roll over there 3 deep. My mom, my dad, myself, you know, in our 1982 Pinto, I remember. Who, y'all remember the Pinto?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that shit was dope. It was dropped. Well, not really dropped, it just didn't have shocks on it. But we rolled over there, and we lived in the hood, you know, because my dad was like he worked for the light company, and then he worked for a police department. And Houston Police Department, you know, you didn't get paid that much, so we kind of lived in the hood. So we roll over there in the Pinto. We roll up in Bel Air. That's where everybody else in the band lived. And I remember we pulled up to this house, and we're like, holy shit. What do these people do for a living? And we get out, and I remember pushing that big wooden door open, and the air conditioner just hit me. We walk in together, they're behind me, I'm like, sorry. I'm here, baby. You know? It was dope, everything was in slow motion, then we walked into the center of their living room, and there's this big circle of people. All the parents are there with every band member, right? And they're like, we've been waiting for you. So my parents were like, this is fucking weird. So we all sit down next to each other. I'm like, it's cool, Dad. It's cool, Mom. We got this. So I'm like, what's up, Mr. Hammond? How you doing, dog? I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is what Greg's dad said, man. And I was like, well, shit, this is going to be some serious stuff. Did we go? We don't agree with what the lead singer was singing about last night. We're pretty worried about Justin. We want to know what to do about it because we don't want our kids involved in this band if he's going to be singing about things like that. So we're not getting a record deal here? It just got so quiet, like all the energy was just sucked out of the room. And that air conditioner that was blowing so hard before, it wasn't on or something. It got real hot, and my dad looks at me and goes, what the fuck did you do? And I look over at my mom to the right. I'm like, it's all good. I look at Mom, and my mom's a sweet little Christian lady. Sweet, sweetheart. And she's just sitting there with her little blanket on her lap. It's kind of getting uncomfortable, you know? They're all looking at my mom and dad for some answers. This is to my mom. I'm just like, Mom, are you okay? And she just stands up. And she grabs the nicest lamp she could have, and she's like, fuck your lamp! Glass everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, bitch! And I stand up, and I'm like, we're out this motherfucker! That didn't happen at all. But you imagine how cool it would have been if my mom would have grabbed their shit and just been like, ah, we don't need you! That would have been dope. But it did seem like it was a slow motion. I looked at my mom and dad and I was like, we should just go. And then I looked at Mr. Hammond, Greg Hammond's dad, and I said, hey, I'm just gonna make it easy for you, buddy. I'm gonna go ahead and quit. You guys can go do your last wish thing, because I'm gonna start a little band called Blue October. You know? Yeah, and when I said it to him, 16-year-old, I said like this, I'm gonna start a band called Blue October. And he's like, so? No. We're out, let's bounce. So we walk out, we get in our Pinto. I'm sitting in the back. I remember this day was so significantly implanted in my brain. Is that a good way of putting it? Significantly implanted in my brain. Sitting in the back, my mom's in front, my dad's right there. We're driving home at night. My dad's just still going like, what? My mom's there, and I'm sitting in the middle of the back seat, and I remember at that moment I said, wow, if one song can do all of that shit, wow, the sky's the limit. 16 years old, oh my God, I think I found my calling. You know? And that moment right there, I said to myself, that's the first and last time I'm gonna ever let anybody tell me what I can and can't sing this song. Right. So gangster. So we pull up in the Pinto, back in the driveway, back home in the hood. We get out, you know, and I climb out because you have to push the seat and climb out. And I remember my dad opens the door, walks in, he goes, well, I'll never get that fucking 2 hours back. I should have been fishing. My mom walks in, takes her jacket off, hangs it on the freaking hook that comes out of the wall, I don't know what it's called, the tongue. And then she hangs her purse up, and then she goes and sits on our couch. And back then, we had these like brown-ass couches, right, with the brown flowers on it and the brown wood that comes out. I remember, and you remember that? Yeah. It was fly. She sits down, she crosses her legs, she grabs a little whoopee or boo-boo or freaking blanket, whatever it is. She looks at me and she goes, well, honey, why don't you play me this song at the top? And I'm like, well, I'm about to fuck you up! I didn't say that. I didn't, because my dad would have been like, I'd get my ass beat if I talked to my mom like that. I remember I grabbed my acoustic, and I was like, Center, get ready. And I sat down on our fake-ass hardwood floors. It was cold to the touch. And I looked up at her and I said, Mom, 16 years old, I said, all right, here you go. Have you ever been so lonely? There's no one there to hold. Just pull me in or disown me and then climb inside. My arms are open wide. Have a look inside. It is not that I am scared to learn just why I'm empty inside. Just hold my hand or show some concern. Fine. Live or die. My eyes are open wide. Help me look inside. And I'm singing. Ha-da-da-da-da-da. 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 Oh. And I hear the water drip from the faucet, and it's sweetly falling into who knew. And I'm gently closing the closet, and I fall to the floor, and I crawl to my room. The thought of ending it soon. Just let me sleep in my room. Hear me cry, I hear a knock at the front door, don't come in. And I try to look at you, but I can't stop shaking. And leave me alone, just go away. Yeah, mother, I'm I'm scared. Mom, I'm so scared. Empty bed, but all of my sheets, they're gone. They're wrapped around me and you. And all is quiet but the drop of my gun. 'Cause I just wanna belong to anyone. Maybe life's not for everyone. And my mom's like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? What's wrong with you? That was beautiful, but what's going on? Danny, get in here. My father's name was Danny. Danny, get in here. Something's wrong with our son. It was beautiful, honey, but so what's going on with you? 16 years old, the next day I was put into the doctor. You're on Paxil. Something must be wrong with him, right? And Paxil, I've been on Paxil since I was 16, and I'm like a whopping, what, 27 now? So, it's so funny, dude. Jeez, bro. No, I've been on Paxil since I was 16 years old. And when you're in high school, that's when you're shaping your personality, right? That's when you find out what makes you tick, what you love, what you don't love, right? So, I've been on Paxil so long, I seriously really don't even know who I am still, because Paxil has been in my life for so long. But every now and then I think that the Paxil's working great, bro. I don't need it no more. You know, I want to be like you all want to wake up and look in the mirror and be like, pow. Good. Life's good. So I stopped taking it. And then like a month later, I'm like, and then I'm shooting across the table. So I just stay on it. You know, I stay on the little purple pills. Every morning I take the Paxil. And my wife can tell when I'm off of it. She's like, ooh. You guys can get right on that. You know, but I mean, I think about it seriously. When I was a child, I don't know what made me write songs like that. I had a wonderful childhood, a loving father and a loving mother. I played with toys like any other kid played with toys. I love toys. I love G.I. Joe. Anybody else like G.I. Joe? Yeah! Knowing's half the fucking battle, dude! It's true, though. I love G.I. Joe, but when I played with toys, it was just a little bit different. I had Leatherface. Remember Leatherface? I had Duke. Remember Duke? Then there was Lady Jane. I would go in the backyard, and I would dig this hole. And I would lay Lady Jane in that hole. Flower petals all around it. And Duke would be kneeling next to this hole. Why, God? Why? Why'd you take Lady Jane? And Leatherface would be consoling Duke. It's okay. She's gone to a better place, bro. But to make it the best it could possibly be, this is what I did. I had those boom boxes with the cassette player, you know? And while this is all going on, I have Krista Berg, Lady in Red playing. So it's just like, Lady in... And my mom would come in, she'd be like, what are you, we're just about to cover her up. That's how I played with toys. Nothing wrong with that. No, but I seriously wonder, like, what was so freaking sad and so stressful back when I was 16 to make me write something like that? I still to this day don't have any clue. Wait, yes I do. I know. I remember it was you girls. It was you girls in high school. That's exactly what. Can I get an amen, brothers? Amen. Thank you very much. She's like, I don't know, what are you talking about? See, that's what's crazy. You had no freaking clue what you did, but you messed us up. I'll get to the songs in a second. This is important that I get this off my chest. There was this girl named Amanda, all right? I'm just gonna tell you about her, just a little bit, then I'll play your songs. There was this girl named Amanda, and I loved her. I loved her. I loved her. I loved her so much. I met her in middle school and loved her through high school. But freshman year, I lived kind of in the hood, like I told you guys. But right down the street, there was this group of, this youth group, is what I call them, group of boys. They were the Crips. They were called the Crips. I'm serious. They wore blue. They were very, very loyal. But I would go to them for my women advice. Yes? Because they lived 4 houses down. And I would come over there, and their names were Wedo and Pez. That was what their names was. I remember that. And I'd come over, and every time I come over, it'd be like, Pez would be like, hey, what's going on? I'd be like, man, Amanda, she's got my heart. And be like, how much do you love her? But when I was around her, I would talk like that too. When I was around those guys, it would be like, I love her so much. I just want to show her how much I love her. I'd be like, well, come on in the side of the house, man. I'll show you what we can do to show her how much you love her. And he took me in and he took me to the back room of his house, right? I don't know where their parents were. Their parents were never there. But take me in the back of this room and he has this tattoo gun. And it's the first time I'd ever seen one. I was like, what does that do? And he goes, we plaka things. I'm like, what is a plaka? He said, tattoo. I'm like, okay. He says, why don't you put her name on you? You go to high school tomorrow, you'd be the only dude with a tattoo, Holmes. I'm like, that's brilliant. Put her name on me, Pez. He goes, well, where do you want that shit? Your fucking chest, neck? I go, let's do it hardcore. Let's do it. My ankle, right here. So he goes, well, give me your foot. I gave him my foot, and he just goes to town. Just fucking hurts so fucking bad, right? I've got 40-something tattoos, and still to this day, that one hurt the worst. I mean, he's just nailing on me like a freaking gun with a freaking... Sorry. And I remember after about a half an hour, I looked at him and I go, we're done, bro. We're done. I hope you got it done. We're done. He goes, we just have the A done. Well, that's enough. So now I literally have this A on my ankle for the rest of my life that is darker than any other tattoo on my whole body. That A stands for accomplishments. Thank you. But I dated Amanda all through high school, and then she broke up with me. Please don't bring it up. Let me just say this. I moved out of my parents' house after high school. Moved in with my buddy Jeff Crowder, and we got our first apartment in an apartment complex together. I remember it was so cool because I could smoke cigarettes while taking a bath. It was so freaking cool. Stupidest thing I've ever heard, but back then it was great. But I remember one night we're driving around Houston in my first car, which was a Volkswagen Rabbit convertible. Thank you. And the top was down. We're driving, wind in her hair. Smoking clove cigarettes, you remember that shit? Smoking clove cigarettes, like we're getting high off of it or something. Smoking clove cigarettes, listening to hardcore man music like the Cranberries Linger. You have to let it linger. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Nothing, dog. Ashes went in my eye and shit. He's like, dude, you are so whipped. And this is the first time I ever heard the word whipped. He kept going, what is that? What is that? Stop that. He goes, she said jump, you say how high. He goes, I can't take you anywhere. I take you to a party, all you do is sit in the corner and cry about Amanda. I take you home, all you do is call Amanda. Because you no longer have phone privileges. And back then it was like the rotary phone. You remember that shit? So you had time to think about what the fuck you were gonna say. And then if you messed up, you have to start all over. These days, you have a cell phone and your girl knows exactly where you are. Fuck everything up. Where are you, baby? I'm at the store. No, you're not. Anyway, back to the story. We're driving around, smoking cloves, listening to the Cranberries Linger. I'm acting like a little bitch, and he looks at me and he goes, dude, you have to make her know how it feels to miss you. And I go, what did you say? I said, we gotta go home right now, because I gotta write that down. And next thing you know, white kitchen walls with 1,000 windows. You turn on Winston in the bed. I'm still asleep, but I can't hear the piano. You make breakfast after 10. And I smell the coffee on your fingers. I still smell your perfume in the bed. Oh. The crushed linen roses are on everything. And you're still inside my head. You gonna sing it with me? Come on. You gotta make her know how it feels to miss you. Let her know you're swapping sides. Yeah. You're not the one with all the problems. No, no, no. You're the one with all the pride. So just pick your head up, boy, and walk away. Walk the coolest walk that you know. 'Cause in a month or two she's gonna call you. You gotta hang up the phone. Alright. Well, I hope she knows I've got this memory. And it won't ever seem to break or bend. Hell no. Hell no. A thick log and sheetrock is on my windows in the kitchen. I don't think I'll ever take them down again. No way. Come on, here we go. 'Cause I've learned a lot from all these breakups and makeups and fuck-ups and fake-ups. Things that I wish you could comprehend. Comprehend. But for now, I'll lace up these wingtip shoes, boy, and I'll go and have breakfast with my good friends. Yeah. You gotta make her know how it feels to miss you. Let her know you're swapping sides. Oh, you're not the one with all the problems. You're not the one with all the problems. You're the one with all the pride. So just pick your head up, boy, and walk away. Then he said, walk the coolest walk that you know, Justin. He said, baby, I know you know, because in a month or two, Amanda's gonna call you. You gotta listen to me. Hang up the phone. I called her. All right, so this is the part of the show where I answer a few of your questions, if that's okay. If you need to pee, this is a good part to do that. Don't you get up while I'm answering these questions. I kid. I'm having a good time, guys. Thank y'all. Wow. Ooh. Oh my God. What do you carry in your keychain? Purse.
That's me.
That's you? What do I carry? What are these?
Yeah.
These are my NA tags. Like for how long you have. No big deal. And then these are all like laminates from all the tours that I did this year. I keep them. There's a big box at home from like when I played with Creed, Nickelback. Joke. When is the new album coming out? Mother, I just put an album out. But I'm working on it, so it'll be out in the next. You know me. Your work is so personal, and the progression in your life is so evident in your music. What album for you most significant? For you is most significant, and why? That's a good one. Basically, probably the most significant album of my life would have to be Any Man in America, because it was such a dark period of my life that it was so brutally honest that I still to this day can't listen to it. Like, I'll put it on and I'll just be like, I can't believe I said that, you know. And some of it I'm proud of myself, and some of it I'm pretty embarrassed that I wrote it. You know, do I regret it? No. But if I were to do it in the kind of mind that I'm in right now, would I have done it that way? Oh God, no. But that was a really poignant time in my life when I didn't want to do it for, like, Foil came out and everything blew up. Approach Normal came out, still blowing up. Any Man in America was kind of like this path where it was like, you can either go get on the charts or you can go write about what you're really feeling and not really go for the charts anymore. And that's why I was proud of that album, because it was such a soulful piece. But anyway, yeah. Any Man in America. And then Home is my second favorite because I just love it so much. What song of yours would you like me to sing to my children so they can appreciate your music? I would have to say The End, The Flight, Any Man in America, Dirt Room, Way of the World Gone Wrong. I kid. I would have to say probably jump rope's always cute. You know, jump rope's cute, of course. Blue skies is really cute too. I love blue skies. Home is a good one. Yeah, home. So there you go. Don't play them the end. What was the most? What was the most embarrassing moment on stage? I get asked this all the time. Oh Lord. This is the open book tour. Here we go. It was back in 2009. We were playing a festival in front of 5,000 people, and I was a big drinker back then. A lot of Jack Daniels, a lot of other things, and I'd been up for quite a while, and I was very hungover. And that's first when those emergency packs came out. Remember those emergency packs? The emergency packs came out, and I remember I was like, oh, this must cure hangovers. So I put 4 of them into a bottle of water, shook it up, you know, and I got on stage, 5,000 people, right? I'm like, what? And our first song was Coming Closer. Do y'all know Coming Closer? Okay, so, you know, it was like, coming closer, and the whole audience was like, what? I felt so cool, and then it goes up to that really high part, you know, the real epic part of that song, you know what I'm talking about? So I go up there, and I shit myself. It's the open book tour. He's sitting there going, why did I come with you, Mom? This is supposed to be inspiring. Yeah. But the greatest part about that is that was the first song of the set list, and I finished that whole set like that because you're what's important. We needed that show, you know? So anyway, that's the truth, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, I'll go ahead and I'm scared of the rest of the questions. So, this next song, I was broke and I was living with my girlfriend. She was so sweet. Her name was Mamie, and this was in Austin, Texas. I lived with her, and she paid the bills, and it was awesome. It was her birthday, and I forgot that it was her birthday, and so that night I had to really like crunch time, and I wrote her a song for her birthday. But I was in the bathroom peeing earlier. At the stall, just going real good, and a gentleman comes up and starts peeing next to me. This is what we do in boys' restrooms. We stand next to each other, and he kind of looked at me, and I'm like, a good flow, you know, and all of a sudden he goes, oh, dude, Justin! All of a sudden my pee just went right back to I was like, oh my God, dude, we're coming here to see you tonight. Oh, it's okay. He goes, oh man, can you play this song for my wife? She's out there, she loves this song. I'm like, yeah, I got you. And then he did the one thing you should never do. No. He went for the handshake. Oh. No, I instantly ran to the sink, washed it. So, buddy, I know you're out there. I'm not going to call you out. I just did, kind of, but I'm not going to tell your girl. But this song's for you, man. You come see me at the show at the merch booth, and I would love to shake your hands. Just wash them first, okay? Something that I can't quite explain. I'm so in love with you. You never take that away. And if I said it 100 times before, expect 1,000 more. Never take that away. Will expect me to be calling you to see if you're okay when I'm not around. Asking, do you love me? Cause I love the way you make it sound. Calling you to see, Do I try too hard to make you smile? To make us smile? Well, I will keep calling you to see if you're sleeping or you're dreaming. If you're dreaming or you're dreaming of me. I can't believe that you actually picked me. And I thought that the world had lost its sway. Then I fell in love with you, and you took that away. And you take away the old, and you show me the new. And I feel like I can fly when I stand next to you. So while I'm on this phone, 100 miles from home, I'll take the words you gave and I'll send them back to you. 'Cause baby, look, I only wanna see that you're okay when I'm not around. Asking, do you love me? 'Cause I love the way you make it sound. Calling you to see, do I try too hard to make you smile? To make us smile? Well, I will keep calling you to see if you're sleeping or you're dreaming. If you're dreaming or you're dreaming of me. I can't believe that you actually picked me. Yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Well, I will keep calling you to see if you're sleeping or you're dreaming. If you're dreaming or you're dreaming of me. Look, I can't believe that you actually picked me. Happy birthday, Mimi. Thank God I forgot her birthday. I mean, that's how I look at it. So I wrote that song, and the next thing you know, it gets on the radio. And I was like, oh man. And you remember that ego that I had when I was 16 years old? Now I'm the lead singer of a band with a song on the radio. And then we got signed to Universal Records. And I was like, wow. So then we started touring in this little van. It was like a 15-seater van, and all the guys would pile in this van. And we had like, 11 people in that van. And we would tour around the country. We would go to Boston, we would go to Philly, we would go to New York, we'd go to Chicago, and we do it every week for months and months and months till we got like 1,000 people. Then we moved. And we put 300,000 miles on the first van in a year, and then the second van we put 500-something thousand miles on it just because we were just road dogs. That's what we did. And we loved it, right? We just toured. We slept on days in floors, shared beds, 3 dudes in one bed. It was okay back then. It wouldn't be cool now. But it was okay back then because it was all out of fun, and you knew that like you played your hardest. And the parties, woo! After the show, man, the parties were always at the hotel. Everybody came to those parties. It was crazy. I mean, what was really crazy is that I got introduced to some really crazy shit. And I loved it. We would come to the parties afterwards, and I turned into the guy that when I showed up, everybody knew, oh, it's lit now. What is Justin bringing? What candy is he bringing? We were young, so we're just like, we're invincible. Remember, I had that ego, right? So nothing could touch me. I'm Justin fucking Furstenfeld, lead singer of fucking Blue October. And when we would run out of whatever candy it was that night at 3 a.m., the rest of the guys would be like, all right, I'm going to bed, man. And I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm going to go get some more. I'll be right back. And I would hop in a cab and give him $100 and I'd say, take me wherever you can. I can't believe the places this man would take me. Every city I'd do this. It was so much fun. You know, but then I would get back to the hotel at around 7 a.m. when everybody else is getting up for radio. We're gonna be on the radio right now, live, Justin. I was like, hold on, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go party my ass off and get on the radio just lit, right? Because I'm the lead singer, I can do that. We would go on and on and on, and years and years and years this went on, you know? It just got crazier and crazier, all the things that were introduced to me, and I loved it. And I remember there was one night, I was sitting in my house, all by myself. By this time, I'd already dumped that Mamie girl. Don't need her, you know? There's chicks everywhere. I don't need her. I don't need nobody, really, just me. And I dumped her. I was sitting in my house. I'd been up for like 3 days. And I remember I was just, I had my guitar. I was getting so much done, you know? I was getting so much done. It was around 4:30 in the morning, and I looked out the side of the blinds of my house. I looked out the blinds, and it was foggy, right? It was foggy, and I could hear the birds chirping, and everybody was asleep in the whole neighborhood. The birds were chirping. I hear dogs in the distance, right? And I was thinking, oh my God, this is such a creepy feeling. Let's write about it. It's so beautiful and lonely. And then I looked, and I remember, I looked right at my computer screen, and what it said on the computer screen was December 25th. It's Christmas. And, I'm just sitting here alone on Christmas. Well, fuck it. Let's keep going, right? Let's keep going. So I picked up my guitar, I did a little bit more. Woo! I should have listened to myself, because this is what I wrote next. I changed my color for you. I shed my coat with caution. I lack the beauty that you display. See, here they are, the bruises, and some were self-inflicted. Some showed up along the way. So I nod my head, ready for the world to see the secret I kept here inside, the man you thought I'd be. Slip into coma calm, the coma where I calm myself down. And here comes my excuses of why I let you down. Stand by for another breakdown. Sound off the alarm. Yeah, it's the chameleon boy. I swore I wouldn't be calm. Chameleon boy. Chameleon boy. So now we come upon the hardest thing I've ever done. Telling you I'm a mess. What sort of mess I mean? Self-destructive gasoline, the kind that strips you of your best. And while I play instead the way that most would end up dead, you sleep alone at home and wish that I were in our bed. With this I'm telling you, my color changes back to blue. How do I ask you this? Will you help me through? Stand by for another breakdown. Sound off the alarm. Yeah, it's the chameleon boy. swore I wouldn't be calm. Stand by for another breakdown. Sound off the alarm. Yeah, it's the chameleon boy. I swore I wouldn't be calm. Chameleon boy. Chameleon boy. I try to think of all the people I looked up to while growing up. Who would I be? Now the twisted part, where did all my idols end up? They've all passed away. Stand by for another breakdown. Sound off the alarm. It's the chameleon boy. I swore I wouldn't be calm. So will you stand by for another breakdown? Sound off the alarm. It's the chameleon boy that I swore I wouldn't be calm. Chameleon boy. Chameleon boy. So I should have known right then, you know, like, something's not right. I should have paid attention. So I didn't. I ended up just pushing so many people away. And then things got better and better and better with the band, and all of a sudden we go from a van to a bus, right? So now we don't have to drive anymore. The party can keep going all night long, right? And so it did. And by that time I'd gotten rid of everybody like Mamie and all those people because I didn't need them, you see. And so the next song that came out was actually an apology letter to Mamie. I have to block out thoughts of you so I don't lose my head. You're crawling like a cockroach, leaving babies in my bed, dropping little reels of tape to remind me that I'm alone, playing movies in my head that make a point I feel like home. There's a burning in my pride, a nervous bleeding in my brain. An ounce of peace is all I want for you, so don't call me. And never say that you loved me, just to put it in my face. And never try to reach me, it is I that wanted space. Hate me today, hate me tomorrow. Hate me so you can finally see what's good for you. And I'm sober now for 3 whole months. What accomplishment that you helped me with. The one thing that always tore us apart is the one thing I won't touch again. In my sick way I want to thank you for holding my head up late at night while I was busy waging wars on myself. Trying to stop the fight. You never doubted my warped opinions on things like suicide or hate. You made me compliment myself when it was way too hard to take. So I'll drive so far away, but I never cross your mind. and do whatever it takes in your heart. Leave me behind. Hate me today, hate me tomorrow, hate me for all the things I didn't do for you. Hate me in ways, you know the way's hard to swallow. You gotta hate me so you can finally see what's good for you. And with a sad heart I say bye to you and wave. I'm kicking shadows on the street for every mistake that I made. And like a baby boy I never knew how to be a man, till I saw your blue eyes cry and I held your face in my hand. And then I fell down yelling, make it go away. Could you please bring back her smile, make it shine like it used to be. And that's when she whispered, she said, how can you do this to me? Hate me today, hate me tomorrow, hate me for all the things I didn't do for you. Hate me in ways rain's hard to swallow. Hate me so you can finally see what's good for you. So when I looked at her and I said, cause this is all for you. I said, I swear from here on out, yeah, this is all for you. I said, this is all for you. We just kept touring, things got really busy. Now I'm riding around in a bus, having the time of my life, singing songs about loss for me. And then right in the middle of it, you know, as I meet this girl. Oh my God, she's so beautiful. I meet this girl. And oh my God, I just fall for her. And then we date for a while. The rest of the guys are like, ooh, what's going on? Then we go platinum. The label calls and said, you sold 1 million records. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you like 1, 2, 3, 4 billion? Oh my God. As soon as we went platinum, all of a sudden she wants to get married. And I'm like, this is a great idea. Let's get married in Vegas tonight. Okay, let's do it. Click, 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 click. I do. I remember walking back to the bus that morning, and my manager standing outside the bus like this. I'm married, man. Oh, congratulations. I didn't know what that meant. I just loved her. Anyway, it was the most unhealthy relationship I've ever been in, right? The most unhealthy, it was, what is it called, oil and water? Right, you just don't mix, right? It was, I can tell you how many times I heard from her mouth, I'm going to a divorce lawyer in the first month, right? It was so unhealthy, but I still just kept coming back. What can I do? What can I do? Please, I love you. I love you. I don't know. So I remember we finally she was going to leave me, because you have to quit the band. You have to quit this. You have to be a family man now. You have to stay home. I can't do that. I'm sorry. I love you. So I remember we were getting separated, right? And then I get a call. We were in Canada. I remember we were in Canada, and I'm just sitting outside drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels, and I'm looking at what are the Northern Lights? It's pretty green lights. It's gorgeous. And I get this call, and I'm like, oh God, it's her. Like stomach just turns every time she calls. So I picked it up, and she's like, I'm pregnant. Almost just threw up, right? Like, oh God, no. Oh God, no. Oh no. I remember running inside the bus and saying, guys, come to the back right now, come to the back right now. She's pregnant. And they're all like, oh God, no. This is not good. Then I remember my parents and how strong they were together. And I said, well, you know what? I'm having a baby. I'm going to stick by her. And I'm going to go home and I'm going to make this work. So I went to Nebraska, because that's where they lived, right? This is where she lived. Went to Nebraska. I said, we're going to make this work for this child. It was the most unhealthy relationship in the world, but we were going to make it work. But then I remember when I went to Nebraska, I shut everything else down because that little baby was about to be born, and I'm just this crazy fucking madman who can't get off drugs, who can't stop drinking, who can't stop lying, who can't stand his wife, and he's just sitting there going crazy. But then I remember the day, I lived in a hotel, she lived in a house because we just couldn't be in the same room together, and she called and she said, I'm having the baby now, meet me at the hospital. I went over there and she goes, you can't come in the room, but you can't come in the room, but you can't come in the room. I'm like, fuck! It's insane, man. And your parents better not come. Oh my God, they're on the way, oh my God, it was so stressful. But then all of a sudden, this baby arrived. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. This beautiful little girl came into my arms, and everything just went. People ask me all the time, what was it like having your first girl? And I tell them this. It was like having a million first crushes hit you in the face, just bah! And you stand there and go, hit me. It was the most beautiful thing holding this baby. And I remember I shut everything down. I was just like, no more touring. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be this baby's father. And I'm going to work it out with you. We're going to work. We're going to do this. And I remember that baby was so beautiful. I would dress her in these big snowsuits because we're in Nebraska, right? I had a big snowsuit and I'd put her in this freaking, what do you call it, the freaking stroller. Got it. Beat. And I would walk her down the street and it would be snowing, but I would have her in this big, she couldn't move her arms. She's like not even like one yet, and I'm talking. I would spend like hours. We would walk 8 miles a day together, just walking, and I would talk to her, and she was the most beautiful thing in the world. And when she would poop, it'd be such beautiful poop. It would be so gorgeous, And I remember when she would go to the bathroom and I would change her diaper, I set up her room with candles, and it would be like a moment. When she would get her diaper changed, the candles would be lit. And I would play Moonlight Sonata in the background, and it would be a moment for Daddy and the baby, right? It was so beautiful. But then I had to go back out on the road. But before I did, I remember I was walking her one day, and this is when she's like 1 year old, right? I'm walking her in this beautiful snow, and I stop, and this leaf is falling down. And I stopped, and I dead in my tracks, and I look at her, and I go, since you've been born, I have not had one drink, I have not had one drug, and I haven't even thought about it.
Oh, yeah.
And then I go, oh shit, I'm thinking about it. Oh shit, I'm thinking about it. Don't think about it. But it was amazing. I didn't think about it. Here I was sober, and I was just not even, life was brilliant. I'll shut the fuck up now. But that moment was another moment, like that moment when I was 16. But anyway, I had to go back out on tour. And inevitably, the marriage did not work. She filed for divorce. I filed back. She filed back. Then I filed back. And oh God. But then I learned something called divorce court. Whew. Oh man. Get a lawyer. They get a lawyer. And be civil as much as you possibly can. They give you this big contract. It's called a parenting plan. It tells you when and when you can't see them. And my deal was every 2 months the judge gave me a weekend, right? So I would fly up to Nebraska, and I remember the first time I'm so excited to fly up. I fly up there and have this teddy bear, and I'm sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And nobody shows up, right? That's not right. So what do? I call the cops. Cops, hey, she didn't show up with the baby, and I remember them laughing. We'll call your lawyer. And I'm like, what do you mean? So what happened was basically, I called the lawyer. They said, oh, well, we have to file a contempt, which means we have to take them to court. That'll be another 2 months. You might as well just fly back home. So does that mean I'm not going to get to see her? He's like, no, you're not going to get to see her. But we'll see her in 2 months when you win in court. So I would fly back up to Nebraska. I would land, and I would get there, and they were smart the way they did this, because they were like, well, he lives in Texas, so let's continue it. So I would get there, and they would continue it. And I didn't know what continue means. That just means that we're going to push it off to a later date. For people that live in Nebraska, it's easy, because you just go home and just come back. I flew back, so that means I don't get to see her again? No. And they continued it. They did this over for a year, back and forth. For a year, I didn't get to see her. So everything that I loved in that moment was just now just like, hey, can't. That was the darkest point in my life. I remember going home, and I was sitting in that same room where I looked out the window, remember, on Christmas morning. And I fought, and I fought, and I fought in court, and nothing changed. Nothing changed. I became very paranoid. Why? Then I thought, you know what, if Father doesn't fight as hard as I'm going to fight and go as crazy as I'm going right now in this courtroom, and I'm going to just keep fighting and fighting, and if a father doesn't fight this hard, then he doesn't love his daughter enough. That's what I thought. A father should go this fucking crazy for this. He should sit here and figure it out. And then he should fly up there as much as it takes and spend all his fucking money, right? And he should go up there and fight and fight and fight and raise hell. But guess what that did? Every time I raised fucking hell, they'd go, ooh, look at him. He's crazy. Then to top it all off, I flip out because I just miss her so much, and I end up in a fucking mental hospital for 2 weeks. I didn't know how to deal with this. So of course, there you go in court. Well, he's in the mental hospital. There's more time away. I didn't know what to do. So what do I do? What do I do? Good old Justin Furstenfeld. I go home and I get out of this hospital, and instead of manning up, what do I fucking do? I go right back to using. I go right back to using and drinking, except this time it wasn't to party, people. This time it was to numb. I just missed her so much, I didn't know what else to do. So I would sit there in that fucking room. The only time that I felt close to her, I'd pick up my guitar, and I would just play this. I'm tired of twisted belly, breathing buried in the dark. I'm equipping. Don't be concerned, it's the power of a breaking heart. How good am I hiding it? I've got some bad intentions. Guilty, yeah, I've been charged. Still standing stable, more than able, 'cause I know who you are. I know the birthdays, anniversaries, all the first days that I missed. I regret them all. But now I know this. I know that God exists. I held her in my arms. I never knew I was able to ever feel this strong. Take me off your worry list, it'll be better that way. I'm doing fine and more, there's nothing we haven't talked about. So take me off your worry list, just throw it away. She's what my life is about. I might have been gone, but I never walked out. I've taken 1,000 red eyes to change your point of view. And what kind of man would take the trust you bring and still follow through? He's standing right there. You may not show up, it's the same gate 14 where honestly I'm just sick of calling your bluff. It's just embarrassing. I nearly threw up, and while I'm trying hard to change the things, I always screw up. And at the top of my list, this visitation, it's no relationship. But I gotta make the best of it. 'Cause I know that God exists. 'Cause I held her in my arms. I never knew I was able to ever feel this strong. Take me off your worry list, it'll be better that way. I'm doing fine, look, I've got plenty friends around. So take me off your worry list, just throw it away. 'Cause it's time to stand up on my own. For her, I'm packing it up. Baby girl, I'm coming. I couldn't wait to finally pick my family up. Everything was quiet and covered in snow. But there's something wrong here. Why is there nobody at home? I'm back in the driver's seat. And I'm heading back home. Embarrassed, back to Texas. 'Cause I'm on my own. Take me off your worry list, it'll be better that way. I'm doing fine, look, I've got plenty friends around. But take me off your worry list, just throw it away. 'Cause it's time to stand up on my own. For her, I'm packing it up. And I'm coming today, 'cause this is what your story's about. I might have been gone, but I never walked out. Packing it up, baby girl, I'm coming. 'Cause this is what your story's about. My pretty little girl, can you figure it out? If it helps to know, so there is no doubt. Just listen to the stories, not everything is glorious. Some hurt, some love, some shout. And I fought the world, but I lost that battle. And you are what my whole life is about. I might have been gone, but Daddy never walked out. So I just sat in that room, right? I wrote songs like The Feel Again, songs like Honesty, that whole album. Crazy. And then, very, very special person came into my life, like out of the blue. My buddy brought over these chicks, bro, to my house. Because he thought I needed some chicks in my house, because I've been sad. And this girl named Sarah walks in my house. It was my birthday. And the first thing she said to me, I was sitting there, she came and hit me with a towel. She said, "Whoop-ah!" And I'm like, ah. I was like, what the fuck? She said, "Smile, it's your birthday." It's the first thing she ever said to me. And we hit it off. She didn't know what kind of crazy I was into. But she knew that I was in pain. You know what our first date was? She took me to Kinko's to sit at their computer and study how men properly go to court, how men dress in court, how they fight for their kids, proper way to speak to a lawyer, proper way to speak to a judge. That was our first date. Second date was a Little Wayne concert. That was my stupid ass idea. But that's who she was. There were nights when I just couldn't take it, and she would literally pick me up. And she'd be like, "You can't give up. You can't give up. You have to keep fighting. You have to keep fighting," because both of us were clueless of what the facts of family court really is. We were clueless. But she stood by me, right? She stood by me. She's like, "You fight and fight." But then she noticed a change in me. I would never leave that room. And it just got worse and worse. And then she found out what I was doing in there. And "I'm grieving, you leave me alone," is what I would always say to her. "I'm grieving, leave me alone. If you don't like it, leave." I didn't need Mamie. I don't need you. I didn't need these people. Anyway, to make a long story short, there was one day that she came in there and she said, "You need to sit down. You need to listen to me. You need to stop doing whatever you're going to do. You can't look me in the eye anymore. I know what you're on because I found it all over the house. And I'm pregnant." Then she got up and she walked out. I didn't stop what I was doing. You know, I just kept going. I kept partying. I had lost sight of what I was doing, and then there was a point where she's so pregnant. Time just flew, and she came in again, and she said, she's about 6 months pregnant. She looked at me, and she said, "I need you to look me in the eyes, because this is a very, very important thing I'm going to say to you right now, Justin." And I'm like, "I don't need to." She goes, "Do you understand what I'm doing here?" She goes, "I'm carrying your baby, and you'd rather sit there and do that. I'm carrying your child. I am 6 months pregnant. Well, this is what I'm going to do for you, Justin, right now, here and there. Look me in the eyes." And I couldn't. She goes, "Look me in the fucking eyes right now." And I looked her in the eyes, and she said, "Nobody grieves like this. You used to be such a good father, and I used to believe in you. Now you're just shit. You go around the country singing, 'I'm sober now for 3 whole months.' You fucking liar. You lie to all these people that sit there and support you." She goes, "When this baby comes, you will not come near it. Boom. You go get help, or you will never see this child. This little girl is mine." And she got up and she walked out. Well, about a week later, nothing changed. A week later, she knocks again. "Duke, Duke, 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 I need you to come out here, Justin. There's some people here that want to see you." And I'm like, "What do you mean there's people here?" "Well, look out." And I looked out. And I saw my brother. I saw my father, my mom, my managers, the whole band, Sarah. They're all sitting there. And then there's this guy that I don't even know, just sitting there in the living room. And I'm like, oh. I look back up. Fuck, this is an intervention. So "Come on out here, Justin. Come on, come on." And I go out there and I said, "If this is an intervention, then where are all the fucking cameras?" Like, really, I asked that question. "Are you from A&E? I don't know you." "Who are you?" "I'm Roger." "Who the fuck are you, Roger?" My mom said, "Sit down. Sit down." Sarah's way over there because they don't trust me around her. And they all went around and read these letters to me. And then my dad, I told you he was a cop. Well, he ended up being DEA, right? Drug enforcement agent, right? He's sitting right across from me, and I said this. I said, well, good fucking cop work, Dad. He's like, and he looked at me and said, son, it doesn't matter what you say right now. It's the drugs. And he goes, if you accept this help, guess what? I'm going to be flying with you. And I'm like, fuck. Right, Dad. So I must have said yes to this help. Because the next thing I remember is I'm sitting in an airplane, just fucking shit. God. I remember my dad's hand comes over. He grabs my hand and says, I love you, son. You're going to go find some peace now. And we didn't say things like that. So we land in Nashville, Tennessee, and they took me to a place called Cumberland Heights. And they told me when I walked in, they go, you can only come here, and the only thing you can bring in here is a Bible and yourself. And I'm like, oh, great. Where did you bring me? I'm like, what is this, a fucking cult? And they're like, no, it's not a cult, smartass. We don't care who you think you are. Sit down and shut the fuck up. We do steps here, is what they said. I was like, what, like fucking jazzercise? No. We do steps. First step, listen to me, Justin. Look at me. First step is that you have to admit that you're powerless and that your life is unmanageable. As soon as they said that, I flashed back like, to when I said yes at that intervention. I said, yes, I'll go, but let me get my things first. And I went into my room, shut the bathroom door, did my last, looked up at the mirror. My face was like green. And I had these scabs that I'd just been picking at for months. Like all over my face, and I hadn't brushed my teeth in months. And I looked at the lady and I said, my life's pretty unmanageable. She goes, all right. Well, step 2 is that you have to find a higher power. And I went, oh God, here we go. Jesus, right? Read the Bible. She's like, it doesn't have to be Jesus. It just has to be something bigger than yourself. You have to believe in something bigger than yourself. Let something else guide you. Because it seems like every time you drive your ship, you ride it straight into a wall, right? And I'm like, you're fucking good. How'd you know that? So I'm there for 75 days. I'll get to the songs. Just give me a second. I'm there for 75 days. And I'm walking around looking for this higher power that they're talking about. I'm sitting in the church, dude, going, I'm seeing on about the 50th day, these young bucks coming in, like 16, 17, going, I found the higher power. And I'm like, fuck you, man. I win everything. I'm going to find the higher power. Well, 70 day rolls up. Day 70 rolls up. I haven't found it. And they're like, Justin, it's time to move out to sober living house. I'm like, I got to go home. They're like, we'll call your wife. My wife is about to have a baby, right? My fiance at the time. And, so I moved to this house where basically I'm in this big house with lawyers, doctors, and this dude with a mohawk, which is me, sitting with all these guys. And what we learned there is how to make your bed, brush your teeth, go out into the world together, be social without using drugs. You have to relearn your whole shit over again. It was crazy. But I remember I was coming close to the end and I couldn't leave unless I found this higher power. So at 5:30 a.m., I'll remember this day for the rest of my life. Then I'll play your songs. I set my alarm and I woke up and I went outside on the back patio and I had my Marlboro Light and I had my cup of black coffee because they weren't going to take that shit away from me. And I walk out while everyone else is asleep, and as soon as I get out there, it was this cold, chilly morning. And it looked exactly like that morning on Christmas. It was foggy. And everything, I could just hear the birds, and the dogs were off in the distance. This was in the woods. And I took a drag. I know you're up there. I know you're up there because I see all these other finding you. What is it that you have against me? I've been looking for you for 70 days. What is it? Do I not deserve it? Can you not see that I want it? I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good father. I want to be a good friend. I want to start over. I just want it. I want it. If you're real and you're up there, you're going to make that bush catch on fire right now. Nothing. Shit. We got to do this before everybody wakes up, man. If you're real and you're really up there, you're going to make that squirrel jump from that branch to that branch right now. Nothing. Shit. Why? Why don't you want to give this to me? Everybody says it's the right thing to do. Well, I'm asking you just to come into my life. I'm literally talking to the sky, asking you to come into my life right now. And I've done so much damage to my brain that maybe you need to talk to me like I'm a 4-year-old. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you need to come down and make it so simple for me. What the fuck was that? This bee came by. I fucking hate bees. Just make it simple. Bring it down. Come on, just make me understand it, because I just want you in my life. God, why do you? And I remember being so annoyed with this fucking bee because he was interrupting my focus with that. Please just make it simple. Make it simple. Come down, talk to me like I'm a 4-year-old. And I'm just like, what the hell? And I look over to the right, and there's this can, this huge black jumbo can, and it says on it, Wasp Killer. I'm like, that shit was not there a second ago. That's really strange. Oh my God. Please, don't mind the bee. Let's do this. Let's bring it down right now. And then all of a sudden, I'm just trying to talk to him up there, and I look at this bee, and then I notice this bee is circling this wasp can, and it starts hitting its head. This is a boom. This is a boom. This is a boom. This is a boom. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? This is a boom, boom. And finally, I just go, bee! The fuck are you trying to do? You've seen millions of your homies die from that shit, but yet you still want to get in there. Like that moment. I swear to God, the moment changed my life. Ever, this warmth just filled me. And I just looked up at the sky and I said, oh, are you kidding me? It's really that simple. And I didn't say anything, I just backed up. And I had this newfound glory in my heart. This newfound pride. And I went back home, right, with this new feeling. And 2 weeks later, we had our baby girl, Sadie Bell. And I remember I was sitting there. I was so worried. It was something. I remember Sadie Bell came, and she was so beautiful. And my wife, I remember, I was just like this little kid, like, I'm so sorry for you. Oh, you don't want to let me hold the baby. Oh, I'm crazy. She handed it to me. And I held Sadie. And she said to me, she's never going to have to see me that way. all my life been running from the pain in me, a feeling I don't understand, but it's holding me down. So rain on me, underwater, all I am is getting harder, a heavy weight that I carry around. But you see, today I don't have to fall apart. No, I don't have to be afraid, and I don't have to let the damage consume me, or my shadow see through me. Cause fear in itself can reel you in and spit you out over and over again. Believe in yourself and you will walk. And now fear in itself will use you on, break you down like you were never enough. Listen, I used to fall, but now I get back up. I'm up here, I'm looking at the way down there, and I'm staring through the I don't care. It's staring back at me. But the beauty is I'm learning how to face my beast, and I'm starting now to find some peace and set myself free. But you see, today I don't have to fall apart. No, I don't have to be afraid, and I don't have to let the damage consume me, or my shadow see through me. Cause fear in itself can reel you in and spit you out over and over again. Believe in yourself and you will walk. And now fear in itself will use you on and break you down like you were never enough. Listen, I used to fall, but now I get back up. You see, 'cause I'm moving on. Oh God, just move on. But you see, today I don't have to fall apart. No, I don't have to be afraid. So I get back up, then I get up, and nothing will break me down. Yeah, fear. And now fear in itself can use you up, and it breaks you down like you're never enough. And I used to fall, so now I just breathe. And I ask for more. And if I'm bitter still, So now I have hobbies. I'm into things. I like Starbucks a lot. I didn't know about Starbucks until I got sober. Starbucks is amazing. Every time I see that freaking green sign, it's like, oh. I like it so much that I'm thinking of making my own drink, sending it to corporate. Check it out. It's gonna be one of them tall mugs, right? It's gonna be 7 shots of espresso, a little bit of rock salt on top, and it's gonna be called the Crystal Methacino. Too soon? A little dark?
All right.
I found out something else in my life. I found out that I have a sense of humor.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's not so damn serious. It's a fucked up sense of humor, but it's still a sense of humor. I'm working on my language. But now it's about the little things. I found out that day that, I found my higher power in a wasp, and the wasp can, and I found out that life really is that simple. I found out that if I just do the next right thing, no matter what it is, I apply it to everything. Like when I'm peeing in the toilet at home, the next right thing is to put the freaking toilet seat down so my wife's perfect little ass does not fall into that pee. So I do the next right thing. But I'm into normal things like I love investigative discovery. Does anybody else? I'm like so deep into that channel. It comes on, I'm like, ooh. I love that. There's one called Who the Fuck Did I Marry? That's what it's called, But it's amazing, that channel. Oh my God, Forensic Files. Oh my God, I love that stuff. But this is how my life is now. This is it. And it's just so great. I'll be laying in bed at night, watching Forensic Files, watching Disappeared or something like that. ID Network. And then my wife will be asleep. It's 3 a.m., right? My wife will be asleep, the kids, and I'll reach over and shake her. Baby, wake up. Baby doll, wake up. God, what do you want? It's 3 a.m. I'll be like, remember when you told me that you love me and that whenever I needed you, that you'd be there for me? Well, I need to talk. And she'd be like, okay, what are you gonna talk about? I'd be like, remember when we got married, you said you love me forever? If you meet some really hot guy one day and you want to run off together, can we just sit down and talk about it? Like, can you not poison me, please? Sure, honey. Whatever you want. She goes to bed. No, it's great. I mean, life's like that now. Now it's fun. I love my children. I love everything about it. But the one thing that they did tell me is when I got out of Cumberland Heights was that you're going to have to work these steps for the rest of your life. And one of the most important steps is making amends to every single person that you hurt. And I said, every one of them? I said, yeah. So when I got home, I made a living amends to most of the people, and every day I try to be the right person that I can, the best person I possibly can. But if you really think about it, that whole time my wife was pregnant, right? The first 6 months I was crazy. Then I went away for 2.5 months. So she really was alone that whole time carrying that child in her belly. So when I got out, the best way I know how to communicate feelings is through songs. So I wanted, during Sway, I had to write an album sober. How is that supposed to work? So I flew to Nashville, where I got sober. It was a very spiritual place. I remember I was riding with a guy named Chris Lindsay, And he looked at me and he goes, wow, 90 days. Whew, you're fragile. And I'm like, shut up. He goes, what do you want to write about? I said, I don't know. And he goes, what do you know deep in your heart? And I go, my wife loves me. And he goes, well, then we need to write about her. So I took that time and that chance to write about what it might have been like to be with me from her eyes, just so I could show her that I'm trying to understand what I might have done to her and how I affected her during that negative time in her life, just so she doesn't go, well, he's sober now, he thinks it's all good. I needed to show her that I hurt her, I recognize it, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make it better every single day. Because people, when I got this second chance, I'm not going to fuck it up, you know. So, now whenever we're driving around listening to Blue October, which is never, but always, I say, what do you want to hear? And she says, my jam. Close my eyes, hear you sigh, a desperate aching wonder, will you ever let me off my knees? I'm wide awake like a dream, as simple as a secret being told to everyone but me. Will I bleed out? I gave it all, you can't stop taking from me. And way down I know, you know when to cut me with your eyes closed. So I bleed out, and it won't be long till my heart stops beating. So don't let me bleed out here all alone. And a sudden rain is coming down, it all comes back to me. I'm waking up and I'm falling down. Another day, it comes undone, and I keep trying to heal your pain. But in return, you cut me over and over. But one more time and I will bleed out. I gave it all, but you can't stop taking from me. And way down I know, you know where to cut me with your eyes closed. So I bleed out, and it won't be long till my heart stops beating. So don't let me bleed out here all alone. And that's when she said, I finally feel like I'm supposed to be here. So don't you take this moment away from me. But before you kill me, won't you look back in my eyes and watch me bleed out. I gave it all, you can't stop taking from me. And way down I know, you know where to cut me with your eyes closed. So I bleed out, and it won't be long till my heart stops beating. So don't let me bleed out here all alone. Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Thank you.